You have to do what is necessary today in order for your future to be better. The reason why you may not be happy with where you currently are right now in life is because now is the time for you to make the necessary changes in order for you to have a better life. Welcome or welcome back. It's your favorite mental health specialist, Ty Guidance, and that is what we're going to talk about in today's video. Now, with that being said, because there's no right or wrong way to heal yourself, always and only take what resonates as well as leave the rest. So if it does not apply, then that means it's not aligned, which means it's not for you, so don't force it. As well as grab your pens, grab your paper, and be prepared to take notes. For this video, we're going to break down, go over, and discuss why it's so important to show up despite if you see like any changes or despite of how you feel right now in the moment, as well as some recommendations, some reminders, and some disclaimers. For the month of May, we have been going over and discussing how life is going to change and life is going to go on. So because life is going to change and life is going to go on, you have to be in the present moment. You have to experience the discomfort today. And the reason why you have to experience the discomfort today is because in order for your life to be better than what it was, like compared to your past or even where you are right now, you have to be able to do what needs to be done. So if you have a goal, let's just say to lose weight, in the future, you have already accomplished that goal. Like what you want has already happened, right? But in order for you to have that goal, to have the body, to see the results, you had to put in the work. Like you have to look at it as a process. Like you have the beginning, the middle, and the end. So in the beginning, you had the idea that you wanted to lose weight, that you wanted to be healthier, whatever it was. In the middle, you went to the gym, you exercised, you started eating better. And in the end, you were able to see your body transition and transform to what you want it to be. And that's the same thing when it comes to our healing journey. You have to realize that when we're healing ourselves from negative beliefs, negative thoughts, negative emotions, narcissists, breaking generational cycles, we are letting go of ideologies, beliefs, mindsets, limitations, and even people and places and things that no longer resonate with us. And the reason why it is so discomforting and uncomfortable is because maybe you have delayed you doing what you needed to do. And I'm speaking from experience. Like what has helped me along my healing journey was to realize that whenever we have an idea, whenever we want to experience something, you have to move on it immediately. Like the longer you wait to do what you need to do, the longer you're going to feel frustrated and irritated. So the second disclaimer is knowing that it is okay if you are not somebody who is able to make decisions immediately and quickly, because we're going to talk about how you can start to make decisions immediately and quickly. But most importantly, if you are never taught and shown how to problem solve or how to regulate your emotions or how to deal with your nervous system, or if you grew up in dysfunction, you grew up in a toxic environment, you grew up around people who didn't have emotional intelligence or who didn't have the capacity to allow you to express yourself and be vulnerable without you feeling judged, you will automatically suppress how you feel. Because when you suppress how you feel, that's when you start to get anxious. That's when you start to become depressed. That's when you start to compare yourself. That's when you start to become envious. And this is what lowers your vibration. On this account, we motivate, inform, and educate, and we raise our vibration. And in order to keep your vibration high, and in order for you to live the life that you want, you have to realize that there's a reason why you feel negative. There's a reason why there is some stagnancy. There's even a reason why you feel delayed. So the third disclaimer is knowing that it is a process. Healing yourself from whatever you're going through, and you know personally what it is you're going through, is going to take time. Once again, if you grew up obese, or if you grew up not eating healthy, if you grew up around people who didn't care about what they put in their body, like, you know, you have to realize that you're now having to let go of certain foods. You're now having to let go of certain ways of consuming, you know, supplements or whatever it is. Like you have to stop surrounding yourself with people who are not mindful of what they eat. Like you have to realize that it's going to take time, because you're used to, let's just say, eating fast food. You're used to being out of breath. You're used to not taking care of yourself and your health. You're used to not dieting. You're used to having like just things that don't make you feel good. Same thing when it comes to healing. When you're healing yourself from poverty, you have to realize that when you're breaking generational cycles to be like financially literate and financially abundant, you have to be able to let go of how you grew up seeing people save money, or you have to let go of mindsets of people telling you that money is evil or money is demonic. You have to let go of surrounding yourself with people who are okay with living paycheck to paycheck and they're not happy. Like, there's nothing wrong with living paycheck to paycheck because a good majority of people do. But if you're not happy, that's when it's the issue. Like, you have to understand that there are levels and there's layers to healing. That's how we heal ourselves. So the fourth disclaimer is knowing that when you know what you want, you do have to learn how to become intentional. Like, you can no longer make excuses. You can no longer say that you're going to do certain things and not do them, because at the end of the day is going to end. But most importantly, it's only going to affect you. Once again, what has helped me along my healing journey was to accept that when I said I wanted to do something, if I said I wanted to be somewhere, I had to move immediately. The longer I was delayed, the longer I was processed, the longer it took me to process what I needed to do, the more I felt like sluggish, the more I felt like I don't want to do this. And like, a lot of people don't understand, like, it is all like internal. Like, I'm not trying to be Bill Nye the Science Guy and have all these labels and attachments, because I don't like those things at all, but it does affect you. Like, subconsciously, a lot of the reasons why people are not being productive or people are not happy is because of trauma. Like, it's not necessarily because you're lazy. Even if you didn't have like the resources and the tools growing up, even if you weren't taught and shown, that doesn't mean that you have to be disabled. This is why I don't like labels or attachments, and this is why I don't like to diagnose people, because it's like, once you confirm that you are a certain type of way, that's like a belief. If somebody says that you're lazy and you believe that, now subconsciously you're going to think that you can't do certain things. You're going to feel hesitant. You're going to feel like you're procrastinating. You don't have to procrastinate for the rest of your life. You don't have to feel delayed. You just have to realize, where is this coming from? And that's the first recommendation. In order for you to identify why you feel negative or why you feel like nothing is working out for you, you need to mentally and emotionally understand why. There's a reason why you feel like, oh my gosh, like nothing is working out for me, or I'm miserable right now. And the reason is for you. You need to write it in the notes. You can book your service in your session, which is in the description. I recommend seeing a psychiatrist. I recommend seeing a therapist. And for those of you who are religious and into spirituality, go to God, go to the ancestors, go to the universe. And once again, take what resonates, leave the rest, because I'm not here to force religion or spirituality. But it's like, we know why we feel uncomfortable. We know why we feel miserable. We know why we feel delayed. Speaking from experience, what I've realized in certain parts of my life was realizing that I had to, like I said, learn this really quickly and efficiently. There were certain people around me. So my company, I had to realize that where I was going, what I wanted to do, the people around me, they weren't there. And I had to make a decision. Am I going to put myself first, or am I going to try to bring people along the journey? So you know what I did? I put myself first, and I had to cut a lot of people out. A lot of people had to be removed out of my life, finances, environments, etc. Like, I knew in the moment why certain things were not working out for me. And it wasn't going to work out for me until I was able to accept that, Ty Guidance, everyone is not for you. And that's okay. And you have to realize that too. Like, sometimes it's the people, like your family members, the people in your environments, the people that you're familiar with, like I said, who maybe projected and deflected these fears and these doubts and these limitations, or maybe they passed it on. Maybe they taught you lack. You have to be able to separate yourself. Just because you grew up in poverty, just because you grew up around people who didn't believe in themselves, just because you grew up around people who said that things are impossible, doesn't mean, like I said, it's true. That's a belief. And once you believe something, you're going to think it's true. So the second recommendation is asking yourself if you think these negative thoughts about you are true. Do you feel like you're lazy? Do you feel like it's impossible to heal yourself? Do you feel like things are not working out for you? If so, why? Like, you have to be able to deal with your emotions. You would have to be able to express yourself. And like I said, you have to really like understand like where is these limitations even coming from in the first place. So once you're able to identify like what you're feeling mentally and emotionally, and then you're challenging yourself to identify if these thoughts are true, if this is something that somebody told you, if this is something that you witnessed, the third recommendation is figuring out, okay, well, what can you do? If you have a goal to heal yourself emotionally, what can you do to regulate your emotions? What can you do to exercise anytime you feel challenged and triggered? If you have a goal to be financially stable, what can you do to become financially literate? What can you do to start saving? What can you do to start investing? If you have a goal, like I said, to lose weight, what can you do to lose weight? How many times a week do you need to exercise? Do you need to invest into a personal trainer? Like, we have to be able to use whatever energy that we have, whatever resources that we have, whatever tools that we have in order to make momentum, because it's the work. Like, I agree with all of the people, all the gurus, all the people that you look up to. they're going to tell you the same thing. It's the work. It was the in between. It was who you had to become if you weren't already like that. Like, if you're somebody who naturally has been disciplined, round of applause, pat yourself on the back. A lot of people are not. A lot of people have struggled. And also, too, I will say this as the fourth recommendation. This is an extra gem. Don't compare yourself. Like, me personally, I grew up privileged financially, right, in certain areas of my life, but I did not grow up with certain resources and certain tools that, like, a lot of people that I knew around me in my communities and even in my immediate family. And instead of me beating myself up or comparing myself to people, I had to realize that sometimes, even though I was privileged in certain areas of my life, the areas that I wasn't privileged, it's not fair for me to beat myself up or to be hard on myself or to be mean to myself or compare myself to other people. Like, I will explain a little bit later. I don't feel like right now is the right time for me to break that down because I want to keep this video on track. But, like, there are certain areas of my life where I have dealt with limited beliefs, not because of me. I have dealt with self-sabotaging. I have dealt with envy. I dealt with a lot of just low vibrational entities and energies that didn't belong to me. And a lot of times, like I said, if you're not aware of yourself, certain people and places and things will try to distract you. Certain people, places, and things will try to put doubt and fear into you and make you feel like nothing is working out for you or things are not impossible. And I've had that happen to me. But because I've always been strong-minded and strong-willed, I was able to, like I said, realize not compare myself. Like, you can't compare yourself to people. Let's just say you didn't grow up financially stable. You can't compare yourself to people who've always had assistance from their family members or their parents or their caregivers. Let's just say you grew up and, like I said, you grew up in dysfunction. You can't compare your nervous system to somebody who's constantly been reassured. Like, not everyone could afford a therapist. Not everyone could afford a psychiatrist. Not everyone believes in religion or spirituality. And no, I'm not here to force it on people, but you have to realize, like, you cannot compare what you have to do versus you see everybody else do. Like, yes, you can look at people and be inspired and consider them to be admirable because they're doing the things that you want to do, so you know it's a possibility. But don't limit yourself to what other people are doing because you're not going to have the same result as them. Like, how you have to get there is not going to be the same. So it's just like, for me personally, the days where I felt like nothing was working out for me, it's not that things are not working out for me. It's just, once again, if I grew up and I had certain limitations projected onto me as a child, if I witnessed certain negative people and places and things as a child, I had to be strong enough to say, you know what, just because that was their reality doesn't mean that's my reality. And I've just learned to just take my time, like, especially when you're doing things by yourself. Because, like, growing up, you guys, I had only went to therapy one time when I was, like, in high school, like secondary school. I only went one time, other than up until now as an adult, I've had to learn how to regulate my emotions and talk about my mental health, etc. Like, I'm not comparing myself to people who have always had, like, let's just say community or family or love and all of those things. So don't compare yourself. Don't feel like you're far behind in life because you're not. You just have to realize, like, there is something that is hindering you. Rather, you think it's true or false. But I know for a fact it's not true. I know for a lot of you all, like I said, if you grew up in, like, dysfunction, or if you grew up around narcissists, or you grew up around evil people, you grew up around envy people, or you grew up in poverty, automatically you feel like you're lacking. And when you feel like you're lacking as a person, it is going to seem challenging and difficult for you to do the things you want to do because you're comparing yourself. You have to stop comparing yourself to people. Like, everybody does not have the same resources in life. Like, yes, we all have the same 24 hours, but everyone doesn't have the same life. So, like, everyone does not look at life with the same set of eyes. So it's really important that instead of, like, lastly, the fifth recommendation, being so hard on yourself, which I want you to create affirmations, just keep that in mind. Like, don't compare yourself, because that's the main reason. Like, there is something subconsciously, like, blocking your belief system about yourself. Like, maybe you lack confidence, like I said, maybe what you witnessed, how you grew up, or how you were raised, and then it's you comparing yourself. I can guarantee you it's those two things. You're comparing yourself. You're looking at other people and you're saying, oh, well, this person did this at this age, I didn't do this. Or, you know, once again, you may have had not the support. You may not have had the people around you to pour into you. So if you had people project and deflect that you were never going to do anything, that you never could be anything, if you had people withheld support, which I've also had to, when you have people withheld support, it's different. Like, it's so much I could say, you guys, but like I said, I don't want to make this video too much longer. But when you have people who try to withhold support from you, you do have to go above and beyond. Like, and we'll talk about that. But for right now, you just need to know that when you're not seeing the results, it's because you need to continue to show up. Like, you cannot give up until you get what you want, until you get to where you need to be. And that's the only way you're going to be able to make a difference. So with that being said, I love you guys. You are loved. Thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure you guys are liking, commenting, engaging. Let me know what you're resonating with. Let me know if you've gone through those similar things. Let me know if you guys want a little bit more information about me, like the story times. I can spill the tea, I guess, whenever you guys are ready for that, as well as booking your service and your sessions. When you guys are following me for the month of May, let me know if you guys want me to go back on live on Instagram and on TikTok so we can talk about these things in real time. But you have to continue to show up. You need to pace yourself. I need you to create affirmations in the comment section. That's your homework assignment. 3 affirmations. So therefore, when you're struggling, when you're suffering, when you feel like you want to give up, I need you to create 3 affirmations that you can reassure yourself with. I need you to also relax when you feel overwhelmed. Take a break, rest, but don't stop, okay? Thanks for watching, peeps.